Before we begin, understand this is not entertainment for men who want reassurance. Our latest Patreon video is called 7 Hard Lessons About Women Most Men Learn Too Late in Life. Watch it while you still have leverage. And if you want coaching, the link is in the description and pinned comment. That's where men go when confusion starts costing them time, money, and self-respect. Now let me give you the hook you didn't ask for, but need. The fastest way to make a woman curious is to stop interrogating her existence like a nervous airport security agent. The moment you stop asking questions, she starts asking them for you. And most men never recover from realizing how backwards they've been playing this. Men are taught that interest equals effort, and effort equals questions. Ask about her day. Ask about her childhood. Ask about her dreams. Ask about her trauma. Ask until you're emotionally panting and wondering why she suddenly feels distant. What you've actually done is turn yourself into a service desk. Helpful, available, forgettable. Curiosity doesn't grow from being questioned. It grows from encountering silence where answers were expected. When you stop asking questions, you create a vacuum. And human psychology hates a vacuum. Especially in women who are used to being pursued, examined, decoded, and endlessly prompted by men who are afraid of stillness. Here's the brutal truth. When you keep asking questions, you're communicating need. You're saying, without words, I require information from you to continue existing in this interaction. That puts her in control. She becomes the supplier. You become the consumer. Power leaks out of you with every eager inquiry. When you stop asking questions, the dynamic flips. Now she has to work to locate you. She starts wondering what you're thinking, what you're doing, why you're suddenly less invested in extracting her biography. Curiosity awakens because certainty disappears. Men panic in silence. Women study it. Most men talk too much and ask too many questions because they're terrified of being misinterpreted as boring. The irony is that nothing is more boring than someone who reveals their interest too quickly. Mystery is not about being quiet. It's about being unresolved. When you stop asking questions, you're not disengaging. You're observing. You're letting her reveal herself without prompting. And here's where it gets darkly funny. Many women, when not guided by questions, will start filling the space themselves. They'll talk more. They'll explain more. They'll volunteer information they never would have offered if you'd asked directly. Silence makes people nervous. Nervous people reveal things. There's a reason interrogators are trained to shut up. A study published in the Journal of Experimental Social Psychology found that people perceived as less immediately responsive and less inquisitive were rated as more intriguing and higher status, particularly in romantic contexts. The researchers noted that uncertainty increased cognitive engagement. In simpler terms, when you stop chasing information, people start chasing meaning. Women are especially sensitive to this shift because they are used to being the object of pursuit. When that pursuit slows, something primitive activates. Is he losing interest? Did I misread him? What does he see that I don't? Curiosity ignites, not because you disappeared, but because you didn't behave as expected. Now let's be clear. This is not about becoming mute or aloof to the point of social incompetence. It's about not performing curiosity as a strategy to earn approval. The men who ask endless questions are not curious. They're auditioning. They want to be liked. And nothing kills attraction faster than the scent of auditioning. When you stop asking questions, you subtly communicate that you are already entertained by your own internal world. That you don't need constant stimulation from her words. to stay engaged. This is deeply unsettling to women who are accustomed to being the center of conversational gravity. And unsettling is interesting. Simps hate this concept because it removes their primary currency. They believe attention is value. It's not. Attention is exposure. Value comes from selectivity. The man who chooses when to engage controls the frame. The man who asks non-stop hands it over. Women who understand this game play it beautifully. They know when to speak and when to withhold. They understand that being slightly unreadable keeps men engaged. I respect that. What I don't respect is the man who complains about being overlooked while behaving like an open book with footnotes. When you stop asking questions, you also stop validating everything she says by default. Questions are affirmations in disguise. They say, "What you're saying matters enough for me to want more." That's fine in moderation. In excess, it inflates ego and deflates desire. Silence, on the other hand, forces her to earn your reaction, to wonder if she impressed you, to check herself. That internal checking is where curiosity lives. Men are taught that women want to be understood. That's only partially true. Women want to be felt, and feelings arise in uncertainty, not clarity. When everything is laid out, explained, and categorized, emotion has no room to breathe. Stopping questions creates space. Space creates tension. Tension creates interest. This is why men often notice a strange shift when they pull back conversationally. She texts more. She asks what he's up to. She initiates. He assumes it's coincidence. It's not. It's the nervous system responding to lost predictability. You were predictable when you asked questions. You were safe. You were manageable. Now you're less so. There's a dark humor in how men resist this. They'll say it feels manipulative. No, it feels uncomfortable, because you're not used to holding power quietly. You're used to earning attention loudly. Silence feels like doing nothing, but in reality, it's doing less. And less, when timed correctly, is lethal. Now let's talk application. Because theory without practice is just intellectual flirting. Your homework is simple and uncomfortable. For the next 10 interactions with women you're interested in, reduce your questions by half. Replace them with statements, observations, pauses. Let silence sit without rushing to fill it. Watch what happens when you don't rescue the conversation. Notice who steps forward and who fades. The ones who fade were never curious about you. The ones who lean in are responding to the space you created. Write down how often you feel the urge to ask a question just to keep momentum. That urge is your fear of being irrelevant. Sit with it. Don't obey it. Toward the end, if this video hit where it was supposed to, subscribe. Not out of loyalty, but because repetition is how perception changes. One exposure won't save you from old habits. And comment this below. When was the last time you stopped asking questions and noticed someone become more interested or uncomfortable? Tell me which one it was. Both are useful. Curiosity is not something you demand. It's something you provoke. And the fastest way to provoke it is to stop begging for information and start allowing silence to do what it's always done best. Reveal who actually wants you there. Welcome to the dark side of your mind, an armory disguised as advice. Everything here exists to give you clarity sharper than the games being played against you. The reading is where I dissect your situation with precision. What he meant, what he didn't, what you missed. About 1,000 words, plus one follow-up question to tighten the strategy. The case file is the full autopsy. A complete, psychological breakdown in writing, plus a private audio message so you hear the parts most people avoid. One follow-up to lock it in. If you want speed, there's the whisper. 400 words. Direct. Unfiltered. No extra dialogue. If you prefer tone and voice, the weight of the message itself, the transmission gives you a private audio response. No follow-up. No hand-holding. And if your situation is messy enough for multiple angles, buy 2 services, and the third is free. Strategy rewards commitment. If you want the truth delivered publicly, without exposing yourself, there's the public whisper. 1 question, 1 strategic answer, posted for others to learn from. Short, clean, no follow-up. You already know why you're here. You ask your question, and within 72 hours, you get clarity most people never develop. Emotional discipline, psychological